Space Marine 2 is under attack from woke activists who hate the Warhammer 40K setting. What else is new? Yeah, they're like clockwork. Every time anything is successful that gamers love, that's fun, they just have to knock it like this. And we're going to laugh at it because that is the only cure for this kind of woke mind virus disease. And it is a very, very funny article we're about to get into today. Why play a fascist? Unpacking the hideousness of the Space Marine. Oh my gosh. These people just really do not understand the appeal of Warhammer 40K and why it's fun to begin with. Even Games Workshop doesn't understand it as they're trying to rewrite the lore, trying to change things for that modern audience that's so coveted. Well, here's the guy. Here's your modern audience right here that you're trying to appeal to. And, we're going to have fun, like I said. Hit the like and subscribe button, my friends. Join us here as we talk about all things science fiction and fantasy. Love Warhammer 40K. Love it so much. We decided to make our own Space Marines. And this is a universe where it's actually a benevolent empire. I'm not a grimdark writer. I like the old action-adventure stuff, like from the 70s, from the 80s, that were much more like action-adventure oriented. And so I made a Space Marine comic. The art style is like very 70s oriented too. It'll remind you of like a Saturday morning cartoon or like Jack Kirby, if you remember, if you're a big comic fan. That's the style we're going for because I want to make a change in culture, and we're doing it ourselves. This is a beautiful 66-page graphic novel. If you love Space Marines, you're going to love this. If you love military science fiction, you're going to love this. It's in the description below, only available on Fund by Comic, which is a great free speech platform we're trying to grow and support also. Love those guys over there. So grab this book today. It's in the description below. Support our channel. We're almost to 12K on here, and would love for you to get in on my universe and read these books as we're building a lot more. So thank you guys so much for the support so far and making this go. Let's check out this article. So in order to make Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 enjoyable, Saber Interactive Space Marines less like Space Marines. That is to say, less like semi-lobotomized, hypnotically indoctrinated slave soldiers in a thrall to an uncaring and possibly non-existent god. In the words of Rick Priestley, primary writer for the original Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader rulebooks back in the 1980s. In Warhammer 40K's supposedly satirical, definitely grimdark Imperium of Man, the Space Marines are genetically engineered sons and warrior monks of an emperor, a messianic figure reduced to a dreamlike corpse in the Golden Throne, whose immense psychic emissions serve as a kind of spirit lighthouse at an interstellar travel. This reads like a Wikipedia. The Space Marines are grotesque Superman clad in motorized armor who exist to exterminate the alien, the mutant, and the unclean. They are the ultimate embodiments of patriarchal, xenophobic fascism. Guys. Oh, gosh. Well, this definitely reads like Wikipedia. I don't know if you've been on that website, but they act like this, too. This is a source for some irony, given that they themselves barely qualify any longer as human, according to the ideals of uncorrupted humanity they champion. Oh, gosh. So crazy. That xenophobic fascism. I bet they worship Trump, too. It's very hard to imagine how they live their lives, Space Marines 2's creative director says. Shortly after the shooter launched in September, they're far from our daily lives and concerns, as we had to find a way to bridge that extreme mentality with something more human that could be connected to by fans, audiences, and players, so we could actually make sense of their story rather than them just being fanatical killing machines, because it's hard to like those characters. Is it? I feel like this is just a interview that's given for just like a little like let's just like dial this down so you don't call us fascists at Saber Interactive. That's and given the fact that Saber Interactive's actually been kind to gamers and actually paying much attention to the actual fans here, I feel like again this is just like a PR move sort of situation from this guy. When talking to this article writer. In particular, the Saber wants you to like the Space Marines under your control. Protagonist Dimitri and Titus said to his subordinates, Cherian and Gadriel, together, says Hollis Liek, the trio form a window into the difficult life of a Space Marine. That there's a threat of corruption on every side. It's a real threat, and you have to be firm and unwavering. And then, if you get on the right side of them, there's an absolute brotherhood and sacrifice you get from it. Yeah, that is how the Space Marines are. I don't see why this is saying that it's something different than Warhammer 40K. This guy's trying too hard. Without spoiling too much, there's mistrust within the team. Charon and Gadriel suspect Tidris Titus of being tainted by swirling cosmic realm of chaos, a seedbed for demons and sorcery, but the game tempers their zealotry, both in terms of the plot, which you'd expect from an action game, mires them in the moment of battle with overwhelming swarms of insect monsters, and in terms of how they talk. The narrative director, Craig Sherman, pushed back on some of the do's they don'ts they received from Games Workshop about Space Marine vocabulary. They deviated from suggested phraseology to make Titus and his comrades sound less like strange and antiquated, less like the Spanish Inquisition, and more like soldiers from real-world present-day militaries. Space Marines don't necessarily say things like dismissed and what? Okay. There's a line when the game where Archeron says company dismissed, and they really wanted to change that to brothers attend to your duties or something. But it's 3 words instead of 1. Now, again, I'm going to get into this. This guy, the article writer, painted this as this makes it less fascist and less patriarchal. Again, brothers attend to your duties or company dismissed does not really have that much of a difference. It sounds crisper. That's all it is. And so it's something that, while you might have something in a written word sort of novel that reads some way, when you're actually hearing it, because you're hearing these people and their voices aloud, you want to have something crisper and more concise. It has nothing to do with politics or them making some sort of political statement, which is what this article writer is pretending is happening. And this is why the woke, they just get in their own little headcanon and kind of make motivations for things. And this is how they act. And so you're getting a primer as to their weird short-circuited mental process where everything has to be about Trump, right? And that's really what the article writer's thinking. I really felt that people wouldn't get it. Okay, makes sense. It's saying something about how accustomed I am to ostensibly parodic figure of the Space Marine being portrayed as a hero that didn't question the desire to make you like and get fanatical killing machines at the time. To be clear, I don't think Saber are deliberately and consciously trying to kindle empathy for literal fascist enforcers in Space Marine 2. Much of the above reasoning is grounded in ostensibly neutral, best practicey questions of craft and characterization. And that's exactly what I said. And yet, for some reason, that's what this article is about. So the woke guy's attacking him anyway. And attacking Warhammer 40K as a setting and wanting them to change things. It's absolutely crazy. And that's why these people cannot be allowed to control these hobbies, guys. If they get into these hobbies, they just twist everything. Everything has to be about their weird little identity politics crap all the time, and that's it. So wild. Exactly how far this extends is unclear. The game's fascist subculture, that's us, is significant enough the Games Workshop felt moved to publish statements disavowing the outright bigots and reminding the tabletop community that the Imperium of Man is a send-up of fascism, empire, and murderous patriarchs, not an endorsement. Oh my God. This guy's insane. You just can't have fun in an environment where you're just trying to purge the Xenos anymore, my friends. It's absolutely crazy. But I knew this was going to happen in this article. And again, what Saber said had nothing to lend credence to what this guy was saying whatsoever. This guy even admitted it within the own article and then said, but it's like this anyway, because this is what the woke do. Everything just reverts back to this because it's like they are a broken record that's on loop and just can't get out of it. It's so crazy. And this is why they ruin everything they touch. This is why they make everything unfun. And this is why you have to gatekeep the hell out of the woke from getting into anything all of the time. It's 100% true. So what a shitty article, honestly. And he goes down here and he just craps on Space Marine 2, and look at how long it is too. It keeps going. We can't go through the whole thing because I will just have a brain aneurysm from dealing with this. But everything he says just is whining about how he just basically doesn't like Warhammer 40K and how basically he doesn't like the fandom of Warhammer 40K, and yet in order to, I guess, make the games work, you quote have to make it less like Warhammer 40K, which is false, as Space Marine 2 was a very, very good example of being respectful to the lore. And actually, most of what Saber Interactive said the entire time was that they were putting good care into their being respectful of the lore, and that's why it's a success. So it's quite the opposite of this guy, and he's just mad. And this type of a long-winded rant is the sign of a gamma male who's mad about something because he wanted his thing to be his way. He's mad that this is a success. He wants it to not be a success, and he just wants you to go along with whatever his weird little political worldview is. Very sad to watch. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button, you heretics. And please grab The Emerald Array. This is going to be a wonderful graphic novel. You guys are going to be absolutely thrilled. Just everything you've wanted. I listened to you guys, and I packed it into a book, and very, very proud of our work here, guys. It's in the description below. Back it today.